Hello guys and welcome to this coding session. Today I'm going to try to correct for you your project classification. Okay, so as usual I'm not going to correct the whole project so that the ones that they couldn't finish it at the first deadline, they can try to finish it at the second deadline. Okay, so I'm going to correct half of the project. Okay, so it's a binary classification. In this problem, we are going to try to classify these images into 0 or 1s. Okay. Okay, so here I set my notebook. I set the execution type as GPU, so it's going to go. So it goes faster. Okay. So here I use or I upload my data from my drive. Okay. Okay, so let's. I'm going to use Matplotlib and NumPy, and then I'm going to show you our data that we are going to work with. Okay, so this is my data. I'm going, like I said, to classify, to do a binary classification. My output will be 1 or 0. Okay. Okay, so let's start with the first one. With the first task. Okay, so now we are going to write a class neuron that will define a single neuron performing a binary classification. So here we are going to define just one neuron. Okay. Okay, so first of all, we are going to construct our class constructor. Okay, we have nx is the number of input features to the neuron. Okay, so nx is how many attributes or features I have. Okay, so we have some errors to raise here. Then I will have public instance attribute. Sorry, w is the weights vector of the neuron. Okay, b is going to be the bias, and a is going to be the activated output. Okay, so here I have some, let's say, some simplification of all this. So I have my input x1 until x3. My class will have as attribute my w, my weights. Okay, my y here is my a, which is my activated output. Okay, and I have my bias here. Okay, guys. Okay, so let's start. My class will be called neuron. So my first attribute will be nx. I'm going first to raise the error if the type of the nx is not int. Then I will raise the type error nx must be an integer. Okay, and then if nx is less than 1, then I'm going to raise another or a value error nx must be a positive integer. Okay. Okay, so this is for the errors. Okay, so after this, my nx, I will define my nx, and then I will define my w. So my w will be, like they said, the weights vector for the neuron. It will be the installation. It should be using a random normal distribution. Okay, so I have two ways to do this. The first one is going to be the simplest one, np dot random dot rand. Okay, so np.random.run, it's the same thing as the standard normal distribution. Okay, so if you have the parameter of my normal distribution 0 and 1, okay, so it's the same thing as a random distribution. Okay, so the shape of my matrix that I'm going to generate is going to be not just nx but 1 nx. Okay, so I have or I need this extra dimension here. Okay, so if you you verify with your test here, with your test in the intranet, you would see that if you have the shape of my w, it's going to be 1 nx. Okay, so I need to add this extra dimension. So the second way to do it, I'm going to put it as a command here, is going to be self of w equals to np dot random dot normal. Okay, the size will be equals to self nx. Okay, and after this I should add an extra dimension, which is going to be with the function expand of numpy. Okay, so here I'm going to add an extra dimension in the axis 0. Okay. Okay, so this is another way to do it, but this one is the simplest one. Okay, okay. So after this, I'm going to initialize the bias b is equals to 0. Okay, and my activation output is going to be a 0 as well. Okay, so this is for the first one. It's pretty simple. This is what we need for now. Okay, so now I'm just going to move to the second one, where I should just put as private my instance. Okay, my instance and attributes. Okay, so I'm just going to add here this as private attribute. Okay. Okay. Okay, so whereas I should add, okay, so each private attribute should have a getter function, okay, and no setter function. Okay, so let's do it. I should have a getter function for my w. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to call it w, and it will return my myself w. Okay, now for the other one, I'm just going to call and to copy and paste. My b for the bias. Okay, and my activation output. Okay, guys. Okay, so this is it for the first task. Let's move to the important task. Not the most important, but it is important, the forward propagation. Okay, so now we should add a public method which called the forward propagation. Okay, so I have now my input, which is an NP array with shape, the number of features and the number of symbols. Okay, so M is my number of examples that I'm going to fit to my neuron. Okay, and then I'm going to update the private attribute the neuron should use the sigmoid activation function, and then I'm going to return my private attribute. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so my forward propagation will be as this one. Okay, so I have here my features or my input. Okay, so here for just one, let's say one input, but I have m inputs. Okay, this is my my forward propagation. Okay, so my z will be, sorry. So my z will be the product, the matmul product. We are going to use matmul product with the weights times my x, okay, plus the bias, okay, and all this will be, I will apply the sigmoid function to my z function, okay, and then I'm going to return this a. So a is going to be my sigmoid function with this formula, okay. So let's code this. So I'm just going to call it C, will be np dot matmul product. So here I can use dot product, but at the task it says that we should use matmul product. Okay, matmul self, my weights, sorry, and x, okay, plus my bias. Then my a will be updated, okay, and it's going to be the sigmoid function, which is 1 divided by 1 plus np dot exponential of minus z. Okay, so this is my sigmoid function, and I'm going to return my new a, or my activated output. Okay, so here we use generally the sigmoid function, especially in the hidden layers of a neural network. Okay, so the sigmoid function will maps my values between 0 and 1. Okay, so why do we need this sigmoid activation function? In fact, it will give the node its non-linearity characters. Okay, and in the neural network, it's really important that we have the non-linearity character. Okay. Okay, so let's move to the next task. Okay, so this is all for the forward propagation. Let's move now to my neural cost or loss. Okay, so here we are going to calculate the loss function or the cost function. Okay, so now we have the y, which is an NP array with shape 1 and m that will contain the correct labels for the input data. Okay, so here my y will have the correct output, okay, and my e will be of shape 1m that will contain the activated output of the neuron for each example. Okay, so y is my correct labels and a is my predicted labels or my activated output. Okay, so here we need to have to be careful about the division by 0. Okay, so we need to add a little bit, let's say epsilon to my here to this term, so I can provide or I can prevent the division by 0. Okay. Okay, so let's do this. My function is called cost. Okay. Okay, so my cost function. I'm going to call m the second shape or the second dimension of my y, okay, to facilitate my coding. Okay, so my cost function will be here, will be using the logistic regression function. Okay, so the logistic regression is the same thing as the binary cross-entropy. Okay, the formula of my logistic regression is as follow: minus 1 divided by m. So this is just for the number of examples that I have, but in general the formulation is y log of a plus 1 minus y log de 1 minus a. Okay, so this is my logistic regression function, which is generally used for binary classification. Okay. Okay, so let's code this. My cost will be minus 1 divided by m multiplied with the summation. So I need this summation because I have m examples. Okay, y divided by my log function of a. Okay, plus 1 minus 1 minus y multiplied with np dot log of my this term, so I can avoid the division by 0. Okay. Okay, so this is my C, and I will return the cost function. Okay, now let's move to the next one. It's going to be the evaluation. Okay, so I'm going to write the public methods def evaluate that will evaluate my my activated output. Okay, so x here is the input data with nx number of features, and m is number of examples, y is my correct labels, and it will return the neurons prediction and the cost of the networks. Okay, so here I'm going to return the prediction, so the activated output and my cost. Okay, so here the prediction will be with shape 1m, and the label value should be 1 if the output of the networks is bigger than 0.5 and 0 otherwise. Okay, okay, so it's called evaluate. Okay, so let's call first of all my outputs np dot I'm going to use where from NumPy that will do this filtration. Okay, if my forward. Okay, so let's call here a equals to forward propagation of my x. Okay, now if my a is less than 0.5, then I have 0, otherwise I have 1. Okay, so it's pretty simple with where. Okay, and then I will return first my output and then my self dot cost of this of y and my a. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is for the evaluation. Now let's move to the next task, which is my gradient descent. Okay, so this is the most important one, the most important function, which will help me to do the update of my weights. Okay, so that my node can learn. Okay, so my gradient descent will have my x, my y, and my e, and my the learning rate alpha. Okay, so as usual, x is an xm, y is 1m, a is 1m, containing the activated output of the neuron for each example, and alpha is my learning rate, and I will update the private attributes w and b. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to call m the shape of y, because I need it. So now to start my gradient descent, I should calculate the derivation of my loss function or my cost function. The derivation of my cost function with respect to my weights, okay, my w. Okay, so here I wrote for you this demonstration of how to calculate this derivation. So the result would be, here I have my loss function, and the derivation of my loss function with respect to w should be this one, should be this formula. Okay, so and the derivation with respect to b should be this formula. So how did we get this formula? Okay, so here I prepare for you this demonstration. I hope it will clear for you or it will help you to understand more this derivation. Okay, so before I start, the most important thing that you should know is that the derivation of the log of x is 1 divided by x. Okay, my sigmoid function is with this formula. Okay, and it is very known that the derivation of the sigmoid function is going to be the same sigmoid function times 1 minus the sigmoid function. Okay, so if you don't know this is the simple demonstration of how did we calculate the derivation of the sigmoid function. Okay, so this is why we usually use sigmoid function, because the derivation it's pretty or it will be it's simple, because this is why we usually use sigmoid function in the neural network, especially in the hidden layers, because this is another advantage for the sigmoid function, because the derivation is it will make easy the calculation. Okay, so these are the the very important points to know before going and start the derivation. So I have this loss function. So here I'm not working with the summation over m. I will add it later on. Okay, so my a, or my activated output, will be the sigmoid of z, which is 1 divided by which will be the sigmoid function applied at z, and my z is has this formula, which is w times x plus b. Okay, so here the only difference between the derivation over w and the derivation over b is this one. Okay, so the derivation of my z over w is going to be x. Okay, so take this one, and my derivation over b is going to be 1. Okay, so this is the difference that will make the between w and b. Okay, so we will see this here later. Okay, okay, so the derivation of the loss with respect to w is going to be with the chain rule, the derivation of the loss with respect to a times the derivation of a with respect to w. Okay. Okay, so this part is for the derivation of the loss with respect to a, which is going to be the derivation of this function with respect to a. And as I said, the derivation of the log is 1 divided by x. So the derivation of y log a will be y divided by a. Okay, this one, and plus this derivation. Okay, and it's going to be 1 minus y divided by 1 minus a. So all this is my x here. Okay, is my x here, but I need to derivate this one with respect to a, and which will give me just the sign, this sign. Okay, so this is why we have here minus 1 minus y. Okay, so finally I will get this formula, which is y divided by e minus y minus 1 minus y divided by 1 minus e. Okay, so this is for my first term. My second term will be the derivation of a with respect to w, which is the derivation of a with the chain rule. I'm going to use the chain rule once again. Okay, so I'm just going to intercalate. So the derivation of a with respect to w will be the derivation of a with respect to z times the derivation of z with respect to w. Okay, so here I use the chain rule once again. Okay, so the derivation of a, this is my a, which is a sigmoid function applied to z. So the derivation will be this one. Okay, with and we will replace the x with z. Okay, so the derivation of a with respect to z will be the sigmoid function applied to z times 1 minus the sigmoid function applies to z, which is a. Okay, so I will get this one, and the derivation of z with respect to w, this is my z. Okay, so it will be x, and this is my x. Okay, so if I am derivating my loss with respect to b, the only difference will be here by putting here 1. Okay, okay, so now I will multiply both of these terms. Okay, both of these terms, and I'm going to get this one times this one. Okay, and if I developed here, it will be this term multiplied with this term, which then I will get y times 1 minus a, and this term divided times this term, I will get minus 1 minus y times a. Okay, okay, and times x here. After this, after developing both of this expression, I will get I will delete this one, and I will get y minus a times x. Okay, so this is the same formula there, and the derivation of loss with respect to b will be y minus a. Okay, so let's code this. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to okay, so let's start with the derivation of w, which is I mean the derivation of the loss with respect to w. It's going to be the Mathmule multiplication of the multiplication of my my a minus y okay, and my x transpose. Okay, so all this will be divided with m, like I said. Okay, so here the shape of my a minus y is going to be 1m. Okay, so a is with 1m and y is with 1m, so here I have the shape 1m. My x is with shape nxm, so to do this multiplication I need to put transpose for x here, with x here. Okay, so I can get the final shape is 1m. Sorry, it's going to be 1 nx. Okay, now my d, so let's put the shapes here. I have here 1m for a minus y times, here I am multiplying the dimension, but you get what I mean, I think. Okay, so x is nxm, but with transpose I have m and x. Okay, and I get finally the dw shape is going to be 1 nx. Sorry. Okay, guys. So I did this with transpose and with matmul, and then I get this this new shape. Okay, so the same thing with the derivation with respect to b is going to be np. Here I need b to be an integer. Okay, so I need to do the sum of the matrix that I will get. Okay, guys. So it's going to be a minus y. Okay, so like I said, the only difference here is x. Okay, and then I'm going to divide this with m. Okay, so here the shape is pretty clear. I will get an integer with summation of this a minus y. Okay, so this is for the derivation. Now I will do the update of the weights and the bias. Okay, so the hard part it's done. So my new w will be the old w minus, so this is the update function, the formula, minus my learning rate times the w, and the same thing for the bias. Minus alpha times dB. Okay, so this is for the update function, the update formula. Okay, so and this is all for the gradient descent. Okay, so guys, I'm just going to construct all the class and then I'm going to test it. Okay, let's move to the next task, and it is with the it's to train my my node. Okay, so I will add the public methods def train, which will has as parameters the it will add the number of iterations that I will do, so the number of the updates that I will do for my weights and bias. Okay, and it will have the alpha, of course. Okay, Okay, so here I have my x, I have my y, I have my iterations, is the number of iterations to train over. Okay, so if it is not an integer, I will raise a type error. If it's not positive, I will raise a value error. Alpha is the learning rate. If it is not a float, if it is not positive, etc. Okay. Okay, so I will update the private attributes. You are allowed to use one loop, okay? And I will return the evaluation of the learning rate after iterations of training have occurred. After the number of iterations of training have occurred, okay? So let's start here. I think here in the next one, I should just add some verbals and some graph equals to true and some step. So why we should add this? Just to let's say to save the variation of my cost and my output. I think my cost and my I will save at each step the cost and the iteration. Okay, so and then I'm going to plot this cost, and I should have this this graph right here. Okay, so I'm just going to code this one, the upgrade train neuron. Okay, so the name is train. Sorry. Okay. Okay, let's start. I have some errors to raise. First of all, if iterations is not integer, then I will raise type error. Iterations must be integer. Okay, so the second one, if it is negative. Okay, so guys, here I did code these errors. Okay, so here I add must be a positive integer here. I should add here equals or, sorry, just a second, guys. I should add here or equal. Okay, so if I have 0, I will have a problem. Okay, so if alpha is negative, the same thing. Here, if I have variables or a graph, if type of step is not an integer, it should be. If the step is not between the 0 and iteration, the number of iterations, I should raise the value error. Okay, guys. Okay, so let's start now with the most important things to do in this function. First of all, I'm just going to call my m, because I need it, is the y dot shape of 1. Okay, I'm going to create a list that will save my costs. Okay, a list that will save my iteration. So I can plot the cost function. Okay. Okay, so now I should loop over the iteration for e in range iterations. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to take my activated output and my cost which are the output of the function evaluate. Of x and y. Okay, then I'm going to do my first forward propagation. With x. Okay, I'm just going to save this in my A. So I'm going to update the output. Okay, and then I'm going to calculate or update my weight and byte with the function descent or gradient descent. It will receive my x and my y and my new updated here A. Okay, and then my learning rates alpha. I think I did an error with call it. I add a p in alpha. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, so this is it here for my loop. I have my cost function. I update my E, and then I calculate my gradient descent and update my weights. So I update my weights here inside this function. Okay, so now I'm going to save my cost function, but only if my E, my range here, is I can divide it by step. Okay, so if the E mode step equals to 0, then I will append my my cost and my iteration. Okay, so if I have this cost append the cost that I have. Okay, iteration append E, and then if I should print my cost and iteration. Then I should print cost after E iteration. Okay. And I will print the cost. Okay, guys. Okay, so now this is all for my first for my update and my calculation of the forward and backward propagation. Now, if I should plot. Okay, so this is super easy. I am going to call the matplotlib bibliothèque. Okay, so plot iteration, my list, my first list, my second list, and the color blue. Okay, okay, so plt dot the label of my y. I'm going to call it costs. Okay, the x label is the iteration. Okay, and my title will be training cost. Okay, and then I'm going to show it. Okay. Okay, so it will return what should it return? The evaluation of the training data. Okay, so it will return my function evaluate. Okay, so I hope I didn't do something wrong here. I will test it. Let's test it, guys. So here I have this function. I really hope I didn't do something wrong. Okay, so I need to move this one. I need to update my path. Okay. Okay. Let's try it. Okay, so neuron is not defined yet. I didn't run this one. What? Yeah, sure, I shouldn't do this. Okay. In range iteration, I forgot in. Okay. Okay, guys, so here I forgot the class constructor. I really shouldn't. Sorry, guys. Okay. Okay, why, where did I, yes. Okay, good. So I have now my first cost. Okay, it should be the same as this one. Okay, so it's the same cost, the same first cost. Okay, so I'm just going to wait few seconds or few minutes, and then I will return with the results. Okay. Okay, guys. So here the iteration is finished, and I get the right graph here. Okay, the right plot of my cost function, but here I have these values as output. So why do I have this? Because here in the evaluate function I put the capital A. Okay, so I should put this A because here I have here I did the where numpy. Okay, so this is why this where is very important, because it will set my values into 0 or 1s. Okay, so I'm going to do this one more time and I'm going to return to you. Okay, so now I get my correct output here. I get my prediction here, okay, and my predictions here, and my input as image right here. Okay guys, so this is my accuracy. Okay, the train accuracy is 99. Okay guys, so this is it for the class neuron. Okay, so for the other classes, for the several hidden layers or several nodes, the calculation of the derivative it's a bit different, but it's the same principle as the neuron. Okay, so this video of Andrew Ng, it's a really good video that will explain with details how to calculate the derivative. Okay, it's really helpful. Okay, so if you have problems in this calculation, please just reach me on Slack. Okay. So I hope that this been helpful for you. If you have some other confusions or some other points that I didn't focus in this video, please tell me or reach me on Slack and I will be happy to answer you. Thank you guys.